What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode here at the Game Knights. You got your boy Titan and Prophet, because Jax is in the back doing some stuff. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing some great stuff.
He just chilling. He's just chilling.
But today we have an exciting episode here. It's going to be the best ban list prediction video you'll see yet, because we are on top of it this time. So
we got that third eye. We got that. What's that one card called?
Play this accessory card, Shadow of Eyes.
Shadow of Eyes, but the anime effect, not the real effect. The real effect is trash.
Yeah. So we're looking into the future. So here we're going to talk about it, but we're going to throw it over to Papa Titan after you kick, lick, and hit that notification bell. Make sure you're staying tuned to all of our excellent stuff. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, because the Subsquire army is taken over. But we have some exciting announcements to make first, and then we'll get right off into that ban list prediction.
So, I got a couple of housekeeping things to take care of. First off, I apologize, Mr. Fotis. It has been a while since the giveaway for our last giveaway had happened. If you don't know who Fotis is, here's his comment here. He was the winner of our last giveaway. So, he sent us some pictures of the stuff that we gave him. He didn't bother sending us any photos of anything that he pulled out of those Ghosts from the past 2 packs, but that's okay. He did show us, of course, the little bonus that he got with his packs. So keep that in mind, guys. You guys might get some bonus things with the giveaway stuff. So keep that in mind when you're, of course, subscribing to the channel and giving us a comment. I also want to reiterate our 500 Subsquire giveaway that we are currently still doing. So, what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys until the end of the month. We're going to give you guys till the end of the month to get your likes and subs in there. And then once the end of the month is around, we will post a video in September. We will announce the winner at that point. And yeah, and we are going to be doing, I'll also make this clear too, guys, because I wasn't sure if I was when I mentioned it the first time. We are going to be doing our double box giveaway is going to be 1 box for 2 people. 2 people, not 1 person getting 2. It's just we are picking 2 winners because we want to spread the love in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. We want to give more people the chance to win. So that's kind of what we're doing with this giveaway. So, with all that out of the way, of course, Prophet already mentioned all that good YouTube stuff, so we don't have to get into that. So we are going to go off straight into our ban list predictions, guys. And of course, there might be a couple wish list things that, us Game Knights kind of want to see. Yep. Don't know if it's going to happen, but, it could potentially happen.
Third eye magic.
Yeah, right? So, we are going to start off backwards. We are going to actually start with the unlims, and then we will end off with the bans.
Oh, I'm not ready.
And also, guys, make sure that you guys let us know how our predictions are. Are they shit? Are they based? Let us know.
Is it copium?
Yeah, just let us know what you think of our predictions or any of our wish list, kind of hits. But anyway, so starting with 2-3. One of the first cards that I think can come back to 3 that would not be a problem, I believe it went to 2 on one of the last lists, or maybe the list before, Dynamite Knight. That thing, I think, is more than fine to come to 3. We still don't have Masterpiece. I don't think Masterpiece is ever going to come back, but I'm pretty sure giving them their second best card, Dynamite Knight, back to 3 is more than fine. If you're losing to True Draco in 2022, then you're probably not playing the best deck in the world. But I'm pretty sure that 3 Dynamite Knight is fine. So I have that one going to 3, and it just kind of makes sense based on what Konami normally does. With their cards that go from like 1 to 2, they'll usually just put it to 3 the next list if it doesn't do anything, which True Draco has done nothing. So that one I'm pretty confident in.
Clearly, Yatagarasu could come back to 3. It's not doing anything.
Yeah, that's true.
What's wrong with it at 3? I haven't seen the craziest Yatalox. It's a normal summon monster that needs to do damage.
It's a goat card.
So like it's old school, like you could have that at 3.
Sure, you might get the odd person that's able to just, Zinzalabim, all of a sudden get the Yatagarasu out, smack for some damage, and then they just don't draw. Like, yeah. I have run into somebody that said that they have been able to pull it off with Trickstar Reincarnation.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of gross, but again, like Prophet said, it's not doing a whole lot, so I'm pretty sure that it is more than fine to come back to 3.
My wish list for 3 is give me 3 Rat. Zodiac best deck, baby.
Yeah, Zodiac.
No, but that won't happen.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think they're gonna do that. So yeah, that's a bit of an iffy one.
The other card we think that could come back to 3, because I have not seen this deck in ages, is Wind Up Zenmaity.
Oh yes,
that is their rank 3 XYZ that specials one from the deck.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yep, I believe so, yeah.
That's right. It's the rank 3 XYZ that specials one from the deck when you detach. So, like, it could come back to 3. Now, there could be somebody who tells me that they would just do a bunch of XYZ shenanigans with, like, Utopic Draco feature and all that kind of stuff, but, like, what else do they got?
Yeah, I don't see an issue with it. There's a lot of cards in today's game that just special from the deck using an XYZ. Well, Mirage Stallion being one of them for Salad.
Gigantic Sprite.
Gigantic Sprite. So, I mean, like, there's other, like, XYZs that do this. And it's a wind-up card. It's like wind-ups aren't doing anything in 2022. There's just so many forms of interruption nowadays to be able to stop that from happening. So I think wind-up Zenmaity can 100% just come straight off to 3. Konami's done a really good job as of late of, you know, releasing old cards. And I feel like this is definitely one that could come back to 3 for sure.
What's getting limited?
Well, hold your horses, Prophet. We still got semi-limit to go.
Oh, that's right.
The semi-limit does exist.
Sorry, Konami.
As much as Simo seems to absolutely hate the semi-limit list, I think that it does serve a purpose. I think the OCG does a much better job with this list than the TCG does. But first thing that I'll talk about of things that could go on the semi-limit list, this is one way that they could kind of address the Brave, aka the Adventurer package right now. So what I think they could do, there's another way that they could go about it, but I think just because, you know, Konami doing Konami things, I think that they'll probably hit Enchantress and Right, possibly to 2, just to kind of limit that consistency of seeing that package. Now, the other way that they could go about it is they could put Enchantress to 1 and leave Right at 3, just because Enchantress, of course, is not only a searcher for the Right, but it's also an extender at the same time.
It only gives it you Right once.
Yeah. So having the ability to just like extend and also grab you the Right, kind of busted sometimes, I will admit. So I think maybe just limiting it maybe that way is probably the way to go, but I could see them just, you know, like I said, Konami liking to, you know, maybe take things a little slow. They'll probably just like hit both of them to 2. So that's my, what I think Konami will do on this next ban list.
The next semi-limit, obviously it's E-Telly. This is getting out of hand, man.
Yes, yeah.
So we got Punk everywhere. Punk just got some crazy good support in Power of the Elements right now. They have a draw 2, sure, just paying life points to activate their effects. Like, they have their new Synchro for it is actually really good. Like, the deck is just actually really good. There's Punk everything right now. Like, E-Telly it's got to get semi'd. Or even limited or banned, but like it needs to be touched. It's just out of nowhere futuristic, just like it's just really good.
Punk everything, and that's not even talking about just the generic applications that, you know, people have been using E-Telly for. You know, using, you know, Ghost Ogre as like as an extender. Because it's a tuner. Oh, cool! I can now synchro. Or maybe I just sit on that Ghost Ogre, just going second, just to summon it, and, you know, try to have my opponent play into it, right? Because it isn't another interruption. And, you know, just with E-Telly not being once per turn, kind of a problem. So we all know, you know, what eventually happens to not once per turn cards. We all know, you know, what eventually happens to not once per turn cards, once per turn cards. So I do 100% agree that like E-Telly's got to go back to 2. I think they opened the floodgate way too much when they put that thing back to 3. I was absolutely shocked actually when I saw that card come back to 3.
So for the next card in the semi-limit, it's a card that we are back and forth on. You could semi-limit Emergence, Sword Soul Emergence. Or limit it, but like the deck isn't doing much. It hasn't won a regional since Power of the Elements came out. It's somewhat top, but like top 16. It's mainly like, it's been power crept hard. Sword Soul is mainly like 2 names turning into these things with the 10E stuff. So like, you either semi-limit Emergence, Ashuna, or Vessel. Maybe does something to the consistency, or they don't even touch the deck and just falls away forever. And ever, and it's gone. until randomly it picks back up because they got support for it.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't think they would hit any of the main deck monsters. I don't think they would hit Moye at all. I think it's too crucial to the deck.
Yeah.
So just leaving them with one emergence, it's still playable, just not as consistent.
So the absolute copium card that I have for a 2 of is on the wish list only if one card gets banned, and that's mine, is Sky Striker Engage.
Whoa! To be honest with you, I would love to see Engage at 2.
Yeah.
Just because, well, they even have it in the OCG at 2, and it's not really doing
That's right.
that much. So yeah, I think that'd be totally fine. All right, now going off into the limits. For the limits, the first card that I will talk about that I think could potentially get limited. So, when we talk about what has to be kind of dealt with right now, if we're putting our Konami hat on, the decks right now that are a big deal are going to be we have Branded Despia, we still have Sword Soul, and we still have things like, we still have Floowandereeze just flapping around doing its thing. This might be a bit of a sussy. You know, let us know in the comments what you guys think about it. But I possibly think that just as a consistency thing, they could potentially hit Frightfur Patchwork.
Oh.
Now, I think this is interesting. Patchwork just being a card that's just for free, letting you add a polymerization, like a means to fuse and a material to fuse.
Yeah.
Now, I think it being so free, that's kind of why I could see it possibly getting hit. It does, if their hand is dead and they just need a way to fuse into something, even if it's just a Masquerade, just to even burn for that little bit of damage that it needs to win you a game, even like that could be enough. So maybe limiting their ability to just be able to grab the means for the fusion and a fusion material, which of course it's a dark, you know, so they can go into Queritus, they can go into, you know, the Masquerade like I mentioned. It just, maybe limiting that ability might be nice.
The flip side is they could just limit Chain.
Yes, that is true.
So then you only ever get it once.
Yes, that is true.
But then you can't search the Chain again.
Yeah.
So like,
it would limit Patchwork's effect.
Limits, yeah.
Yes.
So that could be the salt or the ice on the cake for that instead.
Yeah.
So the other card that I think could get limited, if not banned, obviously to address the oppressiveness of it, is Super Polymerization.
Ooh, our minds are linked right now, because like I was kind of thinking the same thing.
It's too good. Like I don't even need a monster, and I can just make a monster with you aboard. It's just too good. I think it being at 3, it's had its time in the sun. It's been in 3 for almost a year and a half, I believe. Yeah. So like it's had its time. Now it really has had its time. It wasn't addressed last list, which is okay because they wanted Branded to like really be pushed. But like now they could limit it or ban it, but like limit it for sure to keep it in the game. Yeah. Then it becomes that sacky one of just like call by. Yeah. So 1 of it, 2 of it is still too much. 3 of it is insane. Yeah. You know, it can just take you games for no reason.
Oh yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, I got back from locals earlier today, and yeah, Super Poly was what won the game.
Yeah.
So it's just too strong. Even if, you know, like you interrupt them and then they're just like, oh, guess what? I'm just gonna Super Poly. So if you target them for your interrupt, guess what? My effect still now resolves, and I just made a new fusion monster.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's just too strong not being able to respond to it.
Yeah.
Like if it was just like a regular, like, I just fusion summon using your board. Okay, cool, but like you cannot respond.
Yeah.
It's Dark Ruler, but like better.
Yeah, exactly. If they ever, like, one thing I would want them to do is that if they wanted to keep this thing at 3, they need to errata it. They need to make it say that you can still respond to it, because the fact that you cannot respond to it, a little bit broken. Like,
or it just requires me to have a monster.
Yes.
And you.
You know, I would love to see some Super Poly back to 1.
For sure.
It's too strong. It's way too strong. One card that I really think can actually come off of the list, another card that, you know, is getting unlocked from the ban list, is Spellbook of Judgment.
What?
So you Spellbook lovers, you guys get your best card back.
Oh my god.
And you guys can let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe this is just not good. Maybe this is shit and it's not based at all.
Sniff and glue?
Yeah. But no, like this, I think this card is probably fine. Realistically, it's still just a one of. Yes, there are, like, there's not really anything you could even splash it in except maybe Striker, which, sure, but in all honesty, the card's a little bit slow. If the card was, like, letting you add those cards and then you'd be able to use them, 100%, that card could never come back. But the fact that it happens in the end phase, I don't really think is that big of a deal. You can't, it's not like you can have them set or you can do anything with them. They just go back to the hand. So if you have a way to just, like, blow them out, you know, on your turn anyways. All those cards they added back mean absolutely nothing. So I think that it's more than fine. I could be wrong. Like I said, this might be crazy, and I could be wrong. And you know, I might be looking at this list down the road and be like, wow, that was a really bad take. But no, I do think that as of right now, I feel like it could come back. I would love to kind of see what it does. And like I said, it's another card that just kind of, you know, throws people for a loop, because I do enjoy when Konami does those things on the list.
Oh, sure.
So.
And here's another hot take on another card that can come off the list. Harp Horde 1.
Oh, yes.
So,
yes.
obviously, Orcus Nightmare and stuff, like, Nightmare Mermaid's gone. You know, Nightmare Goblin's gone. They can still do all their fun stuff. Yes, they have a new, like, Mech Knight Orcus monster that is a play starter, but, like, Harp Horde 1, I don't know if it's going to really shake it up too much. I think it could be definitely a rogue tier, maybe a tier 2, but it definitely wouldn't be like, oh man, this card's back. Top tier, baby.
Yep.
I don't think it is. I think it could be fine at 1, but it also could be wrong. You know, could be down the list we're looking at again.
Yeah.
It was the wrong idea.
It's just a bad,
but
not based at all.
In at 1, could happen.
And also on top of that, one of the main reasons why this card was even, you know, banned in the first place was because of Striker Orcus format.
Yeah.
And we are far away from that format, so I think at this point it's fine. Like I said, they can always readdress it if they need to. If they need to put it back on the ban list, sure, that's fine.
So, the last card that we all here kind of agree on that should go back to 1 and should not have come back from 1. Cyber Angel Benton.
Yeah.
Yep. Drytron, we're not in a Drytron heavy format. It's still a good deck.
Yep.
You can't say it's not. It hasn't really lost anything except Benton. Yeah, they lost Eva, but like...
They've just found other
ways to play it. Like, it's the Megalith package, like, it's Baron Pop Scythe. Like, Benton at more than 1 is just too good.
It's a little crazy.
Because it is not once per turn. It's just once per copy, and you can tribute that thing at least 3 times by itself, where then it was at 1.
Being at 2 just gives them a higher probability of seeing it, so they don't even have to search it through their combo, right? So it gives them just more options in that turn. Oh, yeah. So I just think, yeah, definitely putting that back to 1, 100%.
Totally fine at 1.
100%. Take away the Benton. Put Benton back to 1. So a little. I was shocked when they actually put it back to 2. Honestly,
oh, for sure.
Honestly. My kind of copium, you know, kind of hot take, you know, wish list kind of card that I would kind of like to see limited, and only because I have lost to this card many times myself, and that is Dimension Shifter.
The Shifty Boy.
The Shifty Boy, yep. This card is super, super annoying. There are a lot of decks in today's game that need to have their graveyard to be able to do anything, and just...
close it out.
Just even resource-wise, even if I'm not doing a whole lot in the graveyard in terms of effects, just being able to have my resources, you know what I mean, instead of them being banished. It's starting to see more play than in just Floowandereeze.
Yeah.
Because we are seeing it played in decks like Exosister. Sprite even, like, they're just playing it just to deal with the graveyard heavy, you know, decks. And yes, that's fair, you gotta have a counter for those decks, but D-Shifter's a little oppressive. If it was only for 1 turn, that'd be one thing, but the fact that it shuts the graveyard off for 2 whole turns,
that's a lot.
Kinda gross. So that's just one thing that I would like to see. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about that one, but that's definitely something I think should be dealt with for sure. Alright, so guys, before we forget, it has come to my attention that I did not mention 2 other cards. This is more of a wish list. This isn't so much what we think Konami's going to do with it, but some wish list things that we would like to see. First off, in terms of dealing with Floowandereeze, get... limit Harpy's Featherstorm.
Get it out. Just put it to 1.
Put it to 1, please. Just, oh my goodness, this card is just insane. Just turning off my whole turn. You know what I mean? It's essentially a turn skip for some decks, and it's just not fun to play through. Floowandereeze already has a lot of things to deal with. Another thing that we'll also talk about along with this one's a wild one, guys. I will admit. So
this is some Third Eye Mystic Magic, like,
yeah, and again,
Shadow Eyes,
Shadow of Eyes,
trap shenanigans.
Yep. Let us know what you think about this one.
Vanity's Emptiness.
Woohoo! Vanity's Emptiness.
So, Jack's out here is talking about it, but like, think about it. It's just one non-special. It's just a window that goes away.
Yep.
After you put a card in the graveyard.
Yep. Which for
But yeah, it's kind of cracked.
It's kind of insane. It's another floodgate, and I know any players, which would probably be a majority of them, unless you're just no control player at heart. You don't want to see another floodgate introduced into the game. But that's why I put the harpies on there, because that's another floodgate that needs to be addressed. So I guess we just shove one back in, because I see Konami liking to do that. They like to take one away and then just slide another one back in.
Slide it in there.
So that they it'd be kind of cool. Tier elements have no problem outing this card. They mill like for their entire strategy, so it outs the emptiness quite easily. Let us know what you guys think. Getting off into the section that you guys are all waiting for. That is the banned section.
Throw them in jail.
Yep.
Get them out.
First card that I want to talk about that I feel like has to go. This is an obvious one, actually. I'm pretty sure everyone has this one on the radar, and that is Halqifibrax.
Gotta go.
Krishan Halqifibrax has got to go, guys. It's had its time. It has been out for years now. It has had its time in the sun, and everything right now is flowing through Halq. Halq has become so insane. Even without Auroradon, it has become so insane because people are now using not only their hand traps for hand traps, they're using them to go into Halq. Or for cards to be special off of Halq. As you see in Master Duel, they use Halq to special Ash, and then they can, if they're playing the right deck, they're playing the Bishbalkan FTK even, right? Like, it's just, they're doing so many wild things with this card. It needs to go. It needs to go. And there's a lot of good synchro decks right now with Punk, Sword Soul still being the top synchro deck.
They can't use Halq.
They can't use it anymore, but they did.
Yep,
when it was the Kitchen Sink variant, right?
Yep.
Back before Auroradon was banned. So this card is just too good. It's gone to the point where it needs to go, and I'm pretty sure people are tired of just having the tuners kind of band around it, because now that doesn't matter anymore, because people are just using the hand traps for that now.
Yep.
It's not even the other generic ones. They're just
the hand traps.
Just using the hand traps.
Time to ban those.
And let's not even talking about what Sprite can do with Halq, just being able to special that hand trap and then using the Swamp Frog to add it back to their hand. So they can search any hand trap and just put it back into their hand. Thank God Droll and Lockbird is not a tuner. My God. But yeah, that card is for sure, it's got to go. Give it the axe. It's time to go.
The next one, and this could be one or the other, Artifact Scythe or Dagda.
Ooh, yes.
Either of them need to go. Yes. But honestly, I'd be fine with both. But Scythe for sure. No more sanctioning my opponent on the, standby phase. It just gotta go.
Yep.
We banned Arch Nemesis Protoss.
Yep.
Did the same thing.
Yep.
This thing does even worse.
Yep.
Because you could even play it in Flu.
Yep. That is true.
Oh.
100%.
You could play it every deck. Like I just said with Drytron, Baron Scythe stuff.
Yep.
Punk Scythe stuff. It just gotta go.
Yep.
Gotta go.
Yep. You have that moment where you're playing a rogue deck and you're like, oh cool, you're playing this rogue deck, and then you find out, oh, they're just playing
Scythe.
DP Scythe control.
Yep, and it's done.
Cool. So and let us know in the comments what you guys think, which way you would rather go. Would you have Dagda hit or would you rather have the Scythe hit? Guys, Fairy Tail Snow.
Oh man.
Yeah, because honestly, this card is kind of insane, and the fact that it's not once per chain or turn is kind of insane. Because yeah, sure, it's in the graveyard. Maybe I chain BD Crow. Guess what? Just chains it again.
Just banish another 7.
Banish another 7, and let me get it out there and book a Moon a monster. And you know what? You might think, oh yeah, book a Moon, that's not that big of a deal. Trust me, if it's going to be the difference between you doing anything for your turn or even dealing that last bit of damage that you need, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So honestly, this is something that I think they probably need to readdress. I think putting it, to 1 on that last S was probably a mistake, considering how easy it's been for some decks to put it into the graveyard.
For sure. The card that I'm going to talk about, and this is only because we got to address Flu at some point, because it's still really good.
Still out there.
Is the Wind Barrier statue.
Yep.
So, ban it. It just says no. You have to normal summon. Then they get play, and they can stop you, and it's just it almost feels like you got Featherstormed in the turn skip aspect of it.
Yep.
But you can still. It doesn't completely turn off your plays, so you can only special wins, and that just isn't... It's a super lock. If you just get rid of it, then they have to play, they have to play other things, and I think just addressing that is fine, because they still have the M-Pen, they still have at least 1 Featherstorm if they went off this list,
yep.
And they still have Dreamtown, and they still have Ryza, And if you're out here watching, you know, Jax's profile and stuff like that, you know they're playing Rosca, so just rip it free out of your hand too.
Yep.
So it kind of comes and goes, but I also have a wild hot take before Titan gets into our last card.
Okay.
Now this is crazy that probably nobody has talked about, or people have hated it.
What is it?
Banning Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler.
Oh.
The level 8 synchro that mills 5 and you get 1.
Okay.
So you just ban it. It gets rid of tons of gas that just gets milled into the grave. It's a special summon back. You can overlay with it so it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
It addresses Rocket Dragon Link, which is, don't tell me it's not good.
Yeah.
Because it's good.
It's out there.
It's still good.
Yep.
It addresses the Punk variant as well.
Yep.
That's kind of getting up there. It addresses random synchro stuff that happens with this deck.
Yep.
Like, it's just a card that is just a little too good.
Yeah.
It just enables so much. And it's a dragon.
Yeah.
So, like, it'll always be inherently good.
Yeah.
So if you just get rid of it, it just limits some of the ceiling as well.
This one is going to be a very controversial one, and I want to hear what you guys think about this one. But the last card that I have on our banned section
No,
is...
it's your banned section. I have one more.
Okay, fair.
But what's your last one?
My last banned card is going to be Called by the Grave, guys.
Finally.
Called by the Grave. Honestly, I hate being sacked. Like, I love this card, but I also hate being sacked by this card so much. And I don't think anybody feels good getting sacked by this card, because you gotta think about it, guys. Normally, for a combo-heavy, like, matchup, you're going to need probably at least around 2 hand traps to kind of deal with the matchup going second, or just say you lost a die roll. But if they have Call by the Grave, you now need 3. And the odds of you opening 3, not the greatest. And honestly, even if you did open 3, you probably didn't open a whole ton of gas for the rest of your engine.
No.
So that's also kind of problematic too. So it just feels bad. It just feels really bad to get sacked by this Call by the Grave. I've lost many games due to Call by the Grave, not only because it deals with hand traps, but even just later on in the game, if there is a prominent monster in the graveyard that, you know, has an effect, or maybe I normal summon or special summon a card that I already had used the previous, you know, in a previous turn, they can just Call by the Grave that monster, and then the monster on the field just doesn't happen. It just gets negated. Yep. And not only that, it gets negated for 2 turns. I think we should just get rid of it. You either get rid of it, Konami, or you give it back to us at 3, like we talked about earlier. That's really the only thing that you can do at this point with this card. So I think this card absolutely needs to go. I'm curious to see what you guys think about it. I know that there's going to be a lot of back and forth on it because, yeah, there are a lot of points to keeping it around, and there's definitely a lot of points to getting rid of it too. All right, what is this card that you want to
that needs to go?
You usurped me on my final ban. What is
it? Needs to go. Needs. Mystic Mine.
Oh, Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine's gotta go. Yes. Oh my god.
Not at 1, not at 2.
Yes.
It has to go.
Yes.
How many top decks at one of the last YCS main deck this card?
Yep.
9 of them.
Yep.
9.
Yep.
Of the top ones, how many played it in the bottoms that didn't make it out? Probably 6 or 17. Yep. Like, it's just everywhere. This card is not just, you know, like, you can still play, but, like, you can't activate monster effects.
Yep.
If I have monster, if I have more than you. I can't attack. But, like, it's just so good. There's literal decks built around mine to just kill your opponent. Like, I'd rather be Dark Rulered every turn going first than have someone mine me.
Yep, 100%. And also it's not just not healthy for the game because it doesn't even progress the game state.
No.
It just stalls you. And to be honest with you, Konami, I'm surprised that it's even still around because Konami typically doesn't really like cards that do kind of like stop, you know, progression of the game state. Alrighty guys, that is it for my predictions. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys thought about any of my predictions. And yeah guys, we will see you in the next one. Have an amazing day guys. Deuces.